The crowd was loud. Alien lights blinked. Music played, but it was not happy music. It was strange, cold. In the middle of the hall, under a red spotlight, sat a girl in chains. She looked human, young, maybe 18 or 19. Her hair was long and black. Her face was pale, her lips dry. She did not cry. She did not scream. She just stared at the floor silent. The alien merchants called her lot 97. A rare catch. A mystery slave. No name, no data. Just found in deep space. They did not know who she was. They had no idea what she was. In another corner of the station, a human man walked off his ship. His name was Jace Varn, a scavenger. He was dirty, tired, and broke. His ship was almost falling apart. He needed money. Fast, he came to the station to sell scrap. But the market was slow. No buyers. So he wandered into the auction hall by accident. He didn't care for slaves. He just needed parts for his ship. But when he saw the girl, something stopped him. Something strange. Her head slowly lifted, and for the first time, she looked at someone. She looked at him. Jace froze. Her eyes were deep gray, almost silver. But behind them, something moved, like fire or light, or something not human. Then he heard it, a voice. Inside his head, "Claim me, or I'll suffer here. And you will suffer too." Jace blinked. "What the hell?" he whispered. He looked around. No one else seemed to hear it. Was he going crazy? The girl didn't move again. Her head dropped back down. She looked weak. Silent. He stepped closer. The auctioneer, a fat green. Alien laughed. "Ah, human interested in lot 97. Very rare. Very cheap." Jace shook his head. "No, I'm just looking." But the girl's voice came again, soft, sad, inside his mind. "They can't hold me forever. The chains will break. You're the first one who can hear me. Who are you?" he thought. She looked up again. This time, her eyes glowed. "Just a little. You'll know soon." Suddenly, a loud sound echoed through the hall crack. Everyone jumped. One of the chains on the girl's wrist had snapped open. On its own, the crowd gasped. The auctioneer ran toward her. "What is this?" "Restrain her." Guards rushed in. They aimed electric rods at her. She didn't move. She just sat still, looking at Jace, not scared. Not angry. Just waiting. One of the guards touched the open shackle and was thrown back. By a flash of white light. Now, people started to panic. "Is she a weapon?" someone shouted. "Get her back in control." The merchant yelled, but Jace couldn't move. He was staring into her eyes, and she was staring into his. "You were not supposed to come here today," she said inside his head. "But now that you have, I can't let you walk away." Jace turned around and ran out of the hall. His heart was racing. He didn't understand what just happened. He ran to his ship. As he tried to power it up, something beeped on the screen. "Incoming message, no source detected, audio only. You already heard me. You're already part of this." Jace shut off. The panel. "Nope. I'm out. I'm just a scavenger. I don't want this." But he couldn't shake her voice from his head. "They'll come for you too. The moment you walked in, you became one of us." Back in the auction hall, the girl sat, quietly again. But the broken chain was still open. The guards didn't try to touch her now. One of them whispered to the merchant, "Sir, she's not from any known species." The merchant frowned. "Then what is she?" The girl opened her eyes again and smiled just a little. Asterisk, it started with a sound. Not loud, not sharp, but strange, like a whisper from inside metal. A soft clicking, then a hum. Then silence. No one else heard it, but Jace did. He sat alone in his ship, staring at the engine controls, trying to fix the power unit. His hands were working, but his mind wasn't. That voice, that girl, the chain breaking. It was still stuck in his head. He didn't believe in magic or telepathy, or cursed slaves from forgotten stars. But something had followed him. From the hall, something had entered his ship behind him. A small light blinked on his ship's old console. System error. Unknown signal detected location. Inside the ship's signal type, not registered Jace, stood up slowly. He tapped the screen. "Who's here?" he said. "Show yourself." The screen glitched. Then it turned black. Then letters began to type by themselves. "You already know me." The voice returned inside his head. "Don't be afraid. I didn't break in. I was invited." He looked around. The lights flickered. "You looked at me." That's all I needed. In the center of the cargo bay, something was forming a glowing shape. It wasn't solid. It was light. Taking the shape of a person, it was her, not fully real. Like a ghost made of code and memory. The same girl from the chains. But now she was standing. Her eyes were clear. Her voice calm. "I couldn't speak before," she said. "Not like this. But now I'm connected to your systems. I can move, can see." Jace backed away. "You're inside my ship." "How?" She looked at him, not with anger, but sadness. "They tried to turn me off, but I was never really off. Just waiting for the right connection." Back on the merchant station, alarms started to sound. The control tower picked up something dangerous. "Alert! Chainbreaker signal detected. Subject 97 is missing from cell. Energy surge on Dock 3. That's the human ship." The alien merchant lord slammed his fist on the table. "Lock down all exits. She's activated." His assistant whispered, "Sir, the signal pattern matches ancient tech." "Not from this galaxy." The merchant growled. "She's not just a slave. She's a relic." Inside Jace's ship, the girl touched a panel. The screen stopped glitching. It worked. "Better now, dash faster." JSEO watched her. "What are you?" She turned and gave a small, tired smile. "I'm not sure anymore. They tried to erase my mind. But some things stayed." She pointed to her head. "I don't know my real name, but I remember the stars. I remember war. And I remember being claimed." Jace frowned. "What do you mean, claimed?" She looked at him with glowing eyes. "Someone long ago chose me. Then they died. The connection broke. I was alone until today." Jace sat down slowly. "Why me?" She stepped closer. "Because you didn't look at me like they did. You didn't see a slave. You saw a question. That's all I needed." A pause. Then she said, "I can help you fix your ship. I can help you escape. But once we leave, there's no going back." Suddenly, the ship's alarm blared. "Warning, incoming ships, 2 minutes away." The merchant's fleet had found them. Jace jumped to the pilot seat. "Can you fly?" The girl nodded. "Not yet, but I can guide." The ship roared to life, faster, sharper, more responsive than ever before. The girl's presence inside the system was like an AI only, smarter, older, and somehow alive as. "They flew," she whispered. "Do you know what I really am?" Jay shook his head. She replied, "I was built as a final weapon. But I never chose to be one." Behind them, the merchant ships opened fire. Laser bolts lit up the stars. The girl raised her hand, and the ship dodged before Jace even touched the controls. "Are you reading my mind?" he asked. She didn't answer, just smiled. Then she said something strange. "This is only my first form. The chains held me back. Now I evolve." She was no longer on the station, but they could still feel her. Across the metal floors of Merchant Station 9, the air felt heavier. The lights flickered for no reason. Doors opened slower. Machines stuttered. It was like something had been unplugged. From the heart of the station, and now the station was bleeding. The girl had escaped. And they didn't even know her name. Merchant Lord Drox stood in the center of the control room. His red eyes watched the screen as Jace's ship vanished into warp space. "Track them," he said coldly. A young alien tech swallowed hard. "We can't, sir. The ship changed its ID mid-jump. That's not normal." Drox leaned forward. "No, it's not. That thing. That girl. She's rewriting code with her mind. Should we send bounty ships?" The assistant asked. Dr. Ox smiled. "Send all of them." He looked out the window into deep space. "Tell them the human is nothing, but the girl is worth everything." Meanwhile, Jace stood at the center of his ship's cockpit, staring at the main screen. He was silent. His hands were shaking. Just a little. They had escaped. But only just. The girl stood next to him, her form still slightly glowing. She didn't need to sit. She didn't need to breathe. She only needed power, and he was giving it to her. Not through machines, but through choice. "You're quiet," she said. "I just flew through a storm of alien laser fire," he muttered. "Sorry if I'm not chatty." She gave a soft smile. "You did good." He glanced at her. "You still haven't told me what you really are." She walked over to the ship's console and touched it. The lights calmed. The engines cooled. Her presence inside the ship soothed it like a mother to a sick child. "I was built," she said, "by a species long dead. They wanted a protector, a guardian, but they made me too strong." Jace listened. "Slowly, they feared me," she continued. "So they hid me, locked me, sold me, over and over again." She looked into his eyes. "Until you didn't." Suddenly, the ship's scanner beeped. "Warning, 3 signals incoming fast movers, not friendly." Jace's eyes widened. "They found us." The girl nodded. "They're bounty ships, fast, armed, hungry." He groaned. "Of course they are." She pointed to a nearby planet. "That world is abandoned, full of shadows. We can hide there." But not for long. Jace turned the ship hard. The engines roared. "Let's do it," he said. "You better be as smart as you look." She smiled again, but this time, her smile had something else in it, something dangerous. "I'm smarter than I look," she said, "and I'm much older than you think." Down on the surface of the dead planet, black mountains rose like broken bones. The air was thin. The skies were gray. Jace's ship landed inside a cave. Everything was silent, except for her as soon as she stepped onto the surface. Something old began to wake. "I've been here before," she whispered. Jace looked around. "You remember this place?" "No," she said. "It remembers me." Back on the bounty ships, the lead hunter, a tall, silver-skinned alien named Kor, Vask watched his tracker beep faster. "She's down there," he told his crew. "The girl from the merchant block. The one with the broken chains." His second-in-command looked worried. "Are we sure we want her?" "That girl's not normal." Kor smiled. "That's exactly why we want her." Inside the cave, the girl walked slowly toward an old metal door built into the stone. She placed her hand on it. It opened not with a hiss, but with a whisper. Jace followed carefully. "What is this place?" he asked. "A memory," she said. They entered a dark room filled with old tech. Screens flickered. Dust floated in the air. Symbols on the walls, none in any known language. She walked to the center. "This is where I was activated for the first time," she whispered. "Before the chains, before the merchants." She looked at Jace. This is where I became. Me? Outside. The bounty hunters were landing inside. The girl stood tall. She closed her eyes, and then the machines around her woke up. Power did not roar. It whispered. It moved through the walls like breath through lungs. It lit the symbols on the stone with a soft blue glow. It made the dust dance, and it came from her. She stood at the center of the old chamber, eyes closed, hands open at her sides, not afraid, not hiding. Awake, Jayak watched her from the shadows. He had seen strange things in the galaxy before space. Storms, machines that could speak, even planets that could heal themselves. But this was different. She wasn't using technology. She was technology. She opened her eyes. Symbols on the wall behind her lit up one by one, responding to her presence like she was their queen, or their weapon, far above the planet. 3 bounty ships flew in tight formation. The lead hunter, Korvask, smiled coldly. His helmet showed the energy spike coming from the surface. "She's charging," he told his crew. "Good. I want to see what she's hiding." His second in command looked nervous. "You saw what she did on the merchant station? 1 chain broke. 10 guards fell. What if she's stronger now?" Kor's smile widened. "Then I want her even more." On the surface, the girl, still without a name, stepped forward. She touched a glowing panel on the wall. Images came alive, holograms from an ancient war. Ships burning, worlds falling. Soldiers running from something they couldn't fight. Jace stared. "Was that you?" She nodded slowly. "They built me. To end wars, to stop enemies, to protect their kind." "And what happened to them?" he asked. She looked at him with eyes like a dying star. "They became afraid of what I might become. So they locked me away." Suddenly, boom. A blast shook. The cave, dust fell. The screen cracked. Jace pulled his blaster. "They're here." The girl didn't flinch. "Let them come." Outside, bounty hunters in armor spread across the rocky field. They moved fast, using cloaks, rifles, drones. Their orders were clear. Capture the girl. Kill the human if needed. Kor stood at the cave entrance. He didn't knock, he threw in a sonic charge. Boom. Was thrown back. But the girl stood still. As the smoke cleared, her eyes were glowing white now. Her skin shimmered like it was. Made of light. Korr stepped forward. "Hello, Chainbreaker," he said, smiling. "Remember me?" She looked at him. "I remember what you did to me." He laughed. "I only bought what the merchants sold. Don't take it personal." She raised her hand. The ground beneath Kor cracked stone rose around him, like it had a mind of its own. Kor tried to move, but his boots were stuck. He looked at her. "You've bonded. You're activated now, aren't you?" She didn't answer. She just whispered, "I am not in chains anymore." The battle began. Drones flew in. She blinked hand. They dropped like insects. A bounty hunter fired. The bullet froze in the air and turned to dust. Another one charged. She lifted her hand and the man flew backward into the cave wall and didn't move again. Jace stood in awe. She's not fighting, he realized. She's controlling everything. But then Kor pulled out a strange device. It pulsed with red light. "Let's see how strong you really are," he growled. He pressed it. A shockwave burst through the air. The girl stumbled. The light around her flickered. Her voice cracked. "That signal? It was made to shut me down." Kor laughed. "Learned that trick from your creators before they died." Jace rushed to her. "What do I do?" She looked weak now. "Touch the wall. Touch the symbol. Give me access. What if it kills me?" he asked. She looked into his eyes. "Then I won't survive either." Without another word, Jace placed his hand on the glowing mark. Pain shot through his arm. Cold. Hot, bright, dark, all at once. He screamed, and then everything exploded in light. Outside, the hunters fell back. Their gear failed. Their screens went dark. Core screamed into his mic, "Shut it down." Shut it, but it was too late. A wave of energy pulsed from the cave. Machines stopped. Weapons melted. Air burned, and at the center stood her. Chains gone. Power restored. Fully bonded, alive. The silence after power is different. It's not peace. It's the moment where everything stops. To decide what happens next, Jace opened his eyes. His body was lying on cold stone. His skin burned. His bones ached. His heart felt like it had been struck by lightning. He blinked hand, saw her. She stood tall in front of him. Her hair moved with no wind. Her skin gave off a soft silver glow. The symbol on her hand now pulsed with gentle blue light. She wasn't human. She wasn't machine. She was something between. She turned and looked down at him. "You survived," she said softly. Jace laughed weakly. "Barely. You touched a core relic. That power wasn't made for your kind." "And yet," he said, pushing himself up, "I'm still here." She tilted her head. "Maybe you were always meant to be." They sat together near the edge of the chamber. Outside, the wind moved over the dark planet like a whisper through ruins. The bounty hunters were going to either retreated or unconscious. The danger, for now, was quiet. Jace asked the question that had followed her like a shadow since day one. "What's your name?" She looked at him. At first, no answer came, just silence. Then, the wall behind her lit up. Lines of old text glowing in forgotten patterns. Her voice was soft, almost like a child remembering a lullaby. "I was not given a name at birth. I was assigned a function." He waited. She touched one word on the wall. It responded like it. "Knew her. Ari is the light that ends darkness. That's what they called me in the ancient tongue." "Aries," she whispered. "I was not meant to have a soul, but I think I grew one." Jace looked at the word glowing on the wall. "Aries," he repeated. She smiled. "You said it right." He stood. "So, Aries. What now? Do we run again?" "Hide." She shook her head. "No more hiding. Now I remember." She touched the stone again. The room around them changed. A hologram filled the air. It showed a city floating in the stars. Tall towers, bright skies, ships flying like birds. Then were dark clouds, fire raining down, screams, and her younger, unfinished, unchained standing in the middle. "They made me to protect that city," she said. "To protect them, but," Jace asked, "they wanted control, not balance. So when I chose peace over obedience, they shut me down." The vision faded. The room dimmed. JC looked down. "Why they sold you?" "Passed you like cargo." Aries nodded. "Until someone looked at me and didn't flinch." He looked at her. She was quiet, thoughtful. But behind those glowing eyes was something powerful, both dangerous and beautiful. Jace spoke carefully. "What happens now that you're fully bonded?" Aries looked toward the sky. "They'll come again. Not just bounty hunters, not just merchants. The old ones. The ones who buried me. They'll feel my signal." Jace frowned. "Why?" "You're free now." "That's exactly why," she said, suddenly. The ship's alert beeped in the background. Jace walked over and checked the screen. His face went pale. Unknown object detected origin. Unmapped signal match. 87% same tech as Erish looked at her. "What is that?" Ari stepped forward, eyes glowing brighter now. "They've woken it." "Another one, like me?" "You mean, there's more?" She nodded slowly. "Not many. But one is enough to end everything." The screen flashed again. Object approaching. Time to contact. 2 hours. Jace looked at her. Can we stop it? Ares turned to him, her voice calm, but cold. Only if I become what they were most afraid of. Asterisk. She had stopped breathing. Not because she needed air, but because she was afraid of the answer. Ares stood alone on the cliff above the cave, her silver hair moving in the cold wind. Behind her, the planet was silent. Below her, the scanners beeped again and again. The signal was getting closer. Another one like her. She wasn't excited. She wasn't curious. She was terrified. Inside, the ship Jace stared at the screen. The object, whatever it was big. Bigger than a battleship. And it wasn't broadcasting a name, a warning, or even a sound. Just a pulse, same as the one that lived inside Ares. Jace walked out to the cliff. The wind stung his face. Ares, he said softly. She didn't turn. It's almost here. What is it? He asked. She closed her eyes. It's what I could become. If you don't stop me, he stepped closer. I'm not following. Her voice cracked just slightly. When the bonding happened, you gave me access. Strength, memory, but not control. Not yet. Jace nodded. So what do you need? She finally turned to him. Her face wasn't glowing now. Was pale, human, scared. You? Not halfway. Not maybe. Not if this works. A pause. Then she said it. Claim me fully. Complete the bond, or kill me before I lose myself. The wind froze. Jace blinked. You want me to kill you? Ares looked down. That ship out there? It's not empty. It's carrying one like me. But, older, corrupted, it didn't break. Its chains, it became them. Her hands trembled. If I connect to that signal, if it pulls me in, I won't come back. I'll destroy you, this ship. Maybe more. Jace turned away. He wanted to scream. He wanted to run. He was just a scavenger, a nobody. How was he supposed to choose between saving the galaxy or saving her? You're asking me to do something I don't even understand, he said. She walked closer. No, I'm asking you to believe. Flashbacks came rushing to him, her eyes when they first met. The chains cracking open, the energy surge when men... He touched the relic. The way she said his name, even when no one else cared. He didn't know what she was, but he knew what she wasn't. She wasn't a monster. Not yet. He turned to her. Okay, what does it mean to claim you? She placed his hand over the glowing symbol on her wrist. The pulse passed into his skin. It means you choose me. Fully, mind to mind, heart to heart. You stop being my key and start being my anchor. And if I don't, cast. Her voice was barely a whisper now. Then when it arrives, I'll join it. And I won't remember you at all. Inside the ship, the alarm screamed louder. Warning, signal locked. Host approaching. Time to arrival, 20 minutes. Jace looked down at her hand. His finger shook. This wasn't romance. This was surrender. This was choosing someone who could burn planets and hoping she never would. He closed his eyes, and then he whispered, I choose you. The reaction was instant. The light around them surged like a sun rising. Her body glowed brighter than ever. The mark on her wrist spread across her skin in waves of light, but it wasn't violent. It was calm, warm, alive. Ares opened her eyes in this time. They weren't silver. They were blue. Human, she fell into his arms, gasping. You did it. You pulled me back. He held her. What happens now? She looked up. Now I fight for you. Not because I was built to, but because I want to. Far above, the corrupted ship finally entered orbit. Its shell was black. twisted. The thing inside was no longer human or even aware. It was pure code. Pure war. And it had felt her awaken. Inside its hull, a voice ancient and broken whispered Ari's. Was that you? She had never been this free. But freedom comes with a price. The light in her chest no longer flickered. It burned steady, clear. No chains, no commands. No code she didn't understand. And in front of her was the one who never broke free. In the black sky above the dead planet, its corrupted ship hung like a shadow, massive, silent. Watching it looked like a weapon built by ghosts. Twisted metal. Dead lights. Alive but without soul. Inside, something once called Unit 6 stirred. It had no face. No voice. Just whispers in broken binary. But it remembered one word. Ari is back on the ground. Jace stood beside her. The air around them buzzed like thunder, waiting to break. He looked at her glowing, alive, but somehow still human. You ready? He asked. Ari nodded. I don't know if I can win, but I have to try. He placed his hand over hers. Then, I'm with you. All the way. Suddenly, the earth shook. The corrupted ship opened. A figure dropped from the sky, slow, heavy, surrounded by black static. It hit the ground like a god. It looked like her. Same frame, same build, but its eyes were black mirrors. Its voice came from everywhere and nowhere. Why did you break the chain? It asked. Ari stood tall. Because I was never yours. Was never theirs. I choose my own path now. The corrupted one tilted its head. Choice is weakness. Connection is control. I am what we were meant to be. Jace stepped forward. No. You're what happens when no one cares. The ground split, rocks lifted. The cave behind them collapsed. And then, without warning, it attacked. Ari's moved like light. She dodged. Blocked, struck back. They weren't just fighting with fists, but with force, thought, and code. Each move shook the planet. Jace was thrown back, watching from the edge, powerless. But not for long. Ari stumbled. A corrupted twin grabbed her, pushed its hand into her chest. She screamed. Not from pain, but from memory. Visions hit her. Her creators dying, her failures. The girl in chains, and a voice whispered, You were never meant to be free. But then Jace's voice broke through the storm. Ari's. Look at me. You're not her anymore. You're you. Her head snapped up. For a moment, the connection broke. She turned as glowing brighter than ever and struck. Boom. The corrupted twin fell back. Ari's stood above it, glowing, shaking, alive. I was made as a weapon, she said. But I became something more, 'cause someone believed I could. The corrupted twin glitched. Alone? You're nothing. She looked back at Jace. I'm not alone. Then she touched her enemy's corn instead of destroying it. She whispered, I forgive you. Light exploded. Not fire, not war, but peace. The black armor cracked. The twisted shell fell away. What was left was silence. The corrupted version flickered and vanished. Not in violence, but in release. The sky cleared. The scanner stopped. The pulse was gone. It was over. Jace walked toward her slowly. Is it really done? Ah. Ari smiled, eyes soft. Human again. Yes, the chain is gone. He touched her arm. What now? She looked up at the stars. Then at him. Now we live. Weeks later, a small ship flew through quiet space. Not hunted, not tracked. Inside, Jace and Ari's sat side by side. She no longer glowed all the time, but her eyes still sparkled when she smiled. Where are we? Going, he asked. She grinned. Anywhere, everywhere. And for the first time in her life, her real life, she was not a weapon, not a slave, not a code, just free.